Hey everyone, today I'd like to talk about the founders versus the progressives. The reason for doing this is it's really important to understand that our nation has gone through some significant changes over the past 240 some odd years since its original conception or founding. And one of the ways to recognize some of these basic changes is to look at the founders' ideology basically coming from, say, the city of Philadelphia and what's rooted all throughout the other major cities of Western civilization, but then tracing it all the way to the late 1800s, where you actually get major progressive ideology that's coming in through people studying abroad in Germany, to be honest. And so I'd like to walk through the basic ideas of the founders, the basic ideas of the progressives, and then do a quick summary for contemporary liberalism, or if you will, contemporary progressivism, largely discussing from that just major changes since the 1960s. So let's get going here. In this first video, part one, I think I'll just be covering the founders' ideology. The founders' ideology is best summed up as Madison would say that justice is the end of government, and that means the preservation of three things: life, liberty, property. Now, a good way of summing up the general approach in 5 different ways for the founders is to look at natural rights, equality, consent, limited government, and separation of powers. Those 5 areas give you a very quick, thorough understanding of their approach to American government. Now, natural rights. What does natural rights mean? What does that mean whenever it's mentioned in the Declaration of Independence, inalienable rights? This is the basic idea of life, liberty, property, that I, as a human being, as an individual, I have life, I'm alive, and then I have liberty, I have freedom to go around, I don't just have to stay in my bed all day. And then I actually need certain things, basically like food, clothing, and shelter, in order to live a prosperous life. Just not even like prosperous, but just a basic life. I need property. I need things to allow me to live. So those 3 things lead to my happiness, which is happiness for the founders literally means property. Just anything from this video, the founders, when they say pursuit of happiness, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, they actually mean property, and property only in the sense of being able to live life as you need to live, to stay alive, to make a living, just to walk through and live life as a normal human being. Now, equality. What does equality mean? Actually, for the founders, it actually simply means that no man has the right to rule another without their consent. So if I meet somebody in the middle of the woods where there's no government, then technically, there's a natural right inherent that that person should not be able to just take over me or steal my stuff unless I give consent. But natural law, in that sense, is broken all the time. But this is what government is for, and it's to affirm equality. And then consent is power given by the people rule. So when people come together out of a natural state, per Locke, right, the state of nature, and then they form a social compact and they give consent to set up a legislative, and from there an executive, and then from there a judiciary, which hits on the separation of powers, which is what they believed was very important for the establishing a good government, was to separate out the powers, pit ambition against ambition, as the Federalists say. But number 4, limited government, is unenumerated powers reserved to states and people. So in other words, they were limiting general federal power to making sure that local was better and states and individuals still had their power. Those are the basic important approaches to the founders' principles. Thank you.